Guys, recently Blizzard has released the classic Fresh Realms, and you better believe that I have been playing a lot. But this recent release has left many people confused, just as confused as they were back in 2019. People are sitting there wondering, why the heck do people like this grindy version of the game so damn much? Well, in this video, I'm hoping to answer that question. The question of why do people love classic WoW so damn much? Now, keep in mind, everybody's answer to that question, if you're a classic WoW fan, is going to be a little different, but these are some of my reasons and reasons that I think that the community tends to put forward the most. So let's just geek out about some classic WoW, shall we? But first, I probably should put my hair up. Before we get too deep into the video though, I have to thank Zygor, this channel's sponsor. Guys, you've been hearing me rant about them for over a year now. It is World of Warcraft's best add-on, linked down below in the description. Helps you with leveling, helps you make gold, helps you get achievements, helps you get mounts, pets, whatever you want. Zygor, it's World of Warcraft's ultimate add-on. All right, everyone knows it. Check them out, link down below in the description. Number 1, an MMO RPG. One of the things that sets classic WoW apart as a game is that it's an MMO RPG. Now, what the heck does that mean? Well, first of all, it's a role-playing game, meaning that the roleplay and the immersion are forefront when it comes to the game. Classes are all very unique and distinct from one another. Class quests are there to teach you more about your character's lore and background. There's even unique mechanics that make certain classes really stand out from others. Warlocks, for example, can collect soul shards from enemies that they then use to sacrifice in order to summon demons. Hunters have to raise their pets, keeping them happy with food. Warriors constantly get their asses kicked until they begin to rock face around level 30 or so. The game is meant to be a role-playing game, a game where you create a character, you fall into this world. It's full of lore, full of quests, full of opportunities to customize your character the way you want them to be customized, but it's also an MMO. What this means is that classic WoW is not a single player game, and it is not designed around the single player experience. Now, to be fair, you can play classic WoW single player, you know, questing through the world and so on and so forth, but the game will very quickly and very subtly force you into groups with other groups of people. You'll be questing and suddenly you have a group quest that you have to complete. Suddenly you'll have a quest that tells you to go into a dungeon. And at endgame, if you want to kill Ragnaros, for example, or fight a Nixxiom, you're going to have to find a guild, you're going to have to group up with 40 people, and you're going to have to go take on those bosses. It's a game that actively rewards you for being social. It rewards you for engaging in the multiplayer element, and that's something that's, I think, kind of lost in modern MMOs nowadays. Modern MMOs seem to have this approach of, well, let's give people the multiplayer content, but let's also give players the single player content or the single player path as well. And although that sounds good on paper, an MMORPG is a multiplayer game that's meant to be approached from a multiplayer standpoint. And so we'll talk more about this in a second, the community of classic WoW, but we'll just leave it there for right now. The point is, unless you're playing classic WoW big sweaty, the game really does feel like just an online D&D session with your friends, just making your character, exploring who they are, and just exploring this big adventure that's in front of you. And that's pretty cool. Number 2, impactful delayed rewards. Another thing that people really love about classic WoW is how rewarding the game feels even at early levels. Every completed quest moves you closer to leveling up, which means you get to go on an adventure back to your class trainer to unlock more delicious new spells. And after a while, every ding is rewarded with a new talent point, class quests, or look forward to every 10 levels for certain classes, and so on. Even the gear. The point is that leveling up in the game feels very rewarding. But even from a gear standpoint, classic WoW delivers. Every time you get a new piece of gear, it really feels like something that you can feel. And it really helps that in classic WoW, the gear that you get is fewer and further between. Even before level 10, getting a new piece of gray gear with more armor attached to it feels like this huge upgrade. And your first green, dude, it's incredible. Your first blue, your first epic, come on, man. And these things are especially cool if you crafted your first greens or whatever for yourself. through professions. Dungeons take longer to do, so getting a blue piece of gear feels really special, especially since not everybody is brave enough to group up and descend into the depths of Azeroth's more challenging content. Epics are limited to only the highest levels of players, with only a very few rare ones hidden in the world here and there to tease lower level players. The point is, when it comes to Classic WoW, everything feels great to be involved in, because everything rewards your character in a very meaningful and impactful way. Doing your professions will award you with huge gear upgrades at times, or potions that you can use in the open world that you wouldn't normally be able to find. Grinding for more money means you can buy some upgrades on the auction house. Simple questing can award you with group gameplay, as well as sweet level ups that reward you with abilities, new talent points. Classic WoW is a game that's always rewarding you for playing it, but it's not a game that's constantly rewarding you, like a pair of keys that are jangling in front of your face. The rewards are delayed. The satisfaction of getting those rewards is increased, and it's something that players really appreciate about the game. It's one reason why, for example, Classic WoW Hardcore was so popular. I mean, you gotta think, like, it was this very big successful movement in the Classic WoW community. Players making character after character, playing as far as they can go, dying, starting again, doing it over and over, doing these starting zones repeatedly, time and time again, and people weren't getting bored of it. And I think that shows just how rewarding the Classic WoW adventure is, even at early levels. It's incredibly good game design. Number 3. A simpler world. It's something that everybody hates when it comes to modern MMOs, including modern World of Warcraft. This idea that you are the chosen one. You are the special champion of Azeroth. You are the savior that was promised to the world. People absolutely hate that garbage. In Classic WoW, in contrast, you are just this no-name jack-off adventurer. And if you do have a name, it is a name that was given to you by the community for your accomplishments, not by Blizzard or the quests or whatever. You see, Classic has this game design of you just being this total nobody, just making your way through the world, seeing what sort of trouble that you can get into. You're getting involved in all these adventures that the world has to offer. You're not beginning as a hero. You are not some soldier of the Alliance. You are not some warrior of the Horde. You are just some goof who found a crappy sword or a wizard staff, and you are off to try to see who you can become based on your own efforts. And even that adds to that rewarding sense that Classic WoW has, because if you're a mage, for example, and you go into SFK and you get the robes of Arugal or something, and you're hanging out with other mages around your level who don't have the robes of Arugal, it makes you feel special, because you have something that they don't. You went on an adventure that they have not had yet and gotten a reward that they have not gotten to taste. And that's really cool. There is no achievement book necessary in the game because your character immediately tells the story to everybody around you of who you are. Are you a casual questing adventurer, a brave dungeoneer, an epic raider, a wealthy auction house worker, whatever. The simplicity of starting everybody as a blank canvas even adds to the roleplay or immersion element of the game that we were discussing earlier. Because starting as that level 1 human warrior begs the question of, who are you gonna be? Are you gonna be this epic tank who's gonna stare down Ragnaros? A DPS who's going to be busting out big numbers for your group as you descend deep into Encourage? Or are you gonna seek out the challenge of being the Grand Marshal of the Alliance? It's a feeling that Classic WoW captures with every new character made, and it's probably one reason why so many people enjoy leveling up in Classic WoW so damn much. It is a simpler world ready for you to write your story within it. It is not a story that is being handed to you or a story that you are being forced to play through. You are writing the story. It's your adventure, your experience, your world to play in. And I think that's something truly special that no other MMO has captured as well as Classic WoW has. And number 4, community. So I've talked a lot about the game's design and that immersive quality of Classic WoW's adventure, but MMOs live and die on the anvil of their community, for better or for worse. And that's what I want to talk about right now. So going back to what I was talking about in the first point, Classic WoW is an MMO RPG. One of the best parts about Classic WoW is that it is a multiplayer game. It's an entire world of people creating stories every day for better or for worse. Stories of people helping each other out through hard times, or tales of streamers abusing their audiences and crashing servers. Regardless, the Classic community has always felt a lot tighter than other MMOs, it seems. All that need for grouping up, all those moments where you want to craft something, but you just need that reagent from another profession that you don't have, and getting a quest that you have to ask for help for, the big confusing world if you're a new player, which leads to you constantly asking in general chat, where the heck is this thing that you're looking for, or where should you go? Going into town and asking the druid to buff you, then the mage, then the priest. All of these subtle ways to get players to socialize or just interact with each other in very small little ways, like just thanking somebody for a, power word fortitude buff or something. Like, this is something that makes the Classic WoW community so special. To this day, I still remember the friends I made back in Classic all those years ago, back in 2005 when I first started playing the game. Pyro Mike, Swift Angel, Granak One Eye, people that I'm never gonna see again. Like, I haven't spoken to these people in years. Like, I don't even know how long it's been. But I'll always remember these people because they were the ones that I quested with and went on adventures with. They're just a part of my childhood. And I wouldn't have met these people if Classic WoW wasn't a game with such a community emphasis behind it. Honestly, the community of Classic WoW is incredible, and I think it's the community spirit of Classic which led to us getting Classic re-released back in 2019 in the first place. If it wasn't for this deep love that the Classic WoW community has for each other and for the game, I don't think we would have seen a 2019 re-release, or even these fresh servers that have recently come out. I don't think we would have seen that at all. So in conclusion, the community element of the game is one of the things that just makes it so special. So why do people love Classic WoW so much? Well, despite it being a dated game, it is a game that really captures the essence of what an MMORPG is supposed to be. It's a game that has impactful, delayed rewards. Not a game that treats you like some child that's always dangling pixels in front of you and always constantly rewarding you with these flashing things like a stupid casino game. No, if you got a new sword, you earned that sword. New robe, you earned that, and it feels great. The world is simpler. You're just an adventurer. You're writing your own story. You're not being told the story. You're not following some linear path. You are making the adventure. And finally, you're not doing that adventure alone. You're a part of a large, living, breathing community that is doing wonderful things together or ripping each other's throats out of their necks. It's these reasons and a whole lot more that Classic WoW is such a beloved game. And if you are somebody playing on the Classic Fresh Realms right now, I hope that you're having a great time.